last lecture. Now, after that, go for motion of a rigid body. As I told you in the last lecture that we have to study the motion of rigid body in the next lecture. That is, first one I told you is a translation, and second I told you it is a rotation. So for translation, what do you mean by translation? Means a position of a particle is say P1. From P1 we are going to displace a particle to some another position say P2. So this is what a translation motion, right? What do you mean by translation? Can you tell me the bookish definition? Book में जो definition है वो आपको पता है क्या translation? How it is defined? Translation may be defined as TP of Tp is equals to P plus A on the condition P belongs to E3 space where A is any constant. That means a position of a particle is displaced to some with a constant distance A. That means every particle or every point is displaced with some constant vector A. Like suppose this is what mod of x graph, and if I am going to displace this to mod of x plus a, so it will be here somewhere. That means we are going to shift this one to this one. That means every coordinate is shifted by some constant vector a to some another position, right? So here also you can see, suppose this one is a line. So this line is now shifted to next one with some constant vector, right? So every point is shifted to some next point with some constant vector a. Okay, so this distance is covered. So this point is now moved to this one, and the corresponding changes. Okay. So the what is a translation that we are going to, if one point of the rigid body is fixed, then the translation motion is absent and the body rotates about a axis passing through it. And everyone knowing about the rotation, that means if suppose I am going to fix a position of the, suppose this is say table. Okay, here it's a table. We have displaced the table to some another position. That means every point is shifted to some another position with some constant distance is covered. Okay. Now here also, suppose rotation we are going to study. Suppose I am going to fix the one point from the body. Okay. Suppose I told you to displace that table, whatever we have studied here. But what is the condition? The one point I am going to fix out. This point should not change its position. It should be as it is. So at that time, it will have a rotational motion. Suppose I am going to fix this point. So this table can be now rotated in this way. Okay, so it can be rotated in this region, right? But it cannot be translated because we are going to fix the position of the particle. Okay. So if I am going to fix the position of a particle, then what we can say, translation motion is absent. Only we can have a rotational motion. Okay. Have you getting? Are you getting this translation and rotation?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, the third one is, if suppose I am going to fix the 2 points, if I am going to fix the 2 points on the rigid body, then the translation motion is absent and the body rotates about an axis passing through these 2 points, and if the third coordinate is also fixed out, then there will not be a rotational motion also. Okay. What is second one? We are going to fix the 2 points of the body, right? Suppose this one and this one, both, if you are going to fix out the 2 points on the rigid body, it means this cannot be displaced, so this can be rotated in this way. Okay, just like the thing which we have done in our childhood. खिलौने देखे होंगे ना सबने, सपोज इट इज ऑफ लाइक दिस, So these points are fixed out and this will be rotated like in this region. Getting me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so if I am going to fix 2 points on this, so it will rotate like this. And suppose if I am going to fix the third point also, if I am going to fix the third point which is not linear with these two, okay. If I am going to fix the third point which is not linear with this, suppose I am going to fix here, so still it can have rotational motion. But if I am going to fix the point which is not linear with the earlier point, so it will be having the only no motion. That means we can say there is no rotational motion and the body is fixed out. Okay. So what are the things we have seen? First is a translation motion. It can be moved to some another position with some constant vector A. Rotational motion means if I am going to fix a one point, the body can be rotated by fixing that point. And if suppose I am going to fix the 2 points, then body can be rotated with fixing these 2 points. Suppose I have fixed out these 2 points, then it can be rotated like this. And if suppose I am going to fix the third point, which is non-collinear with the remaining two, this is the important one because the third point, if it is linear with this one, again there will be a rotational motion. If you are going to fix the third point, which is not linear with this, then the body will be at a fixed position. Okay. If you are not having any doubt, can I go to the next one?
Yes, ma'am.
Coordinate transformation. Now let us see what is transformations. As we have discussed what is transformation in the first chapter, in case of a generalized coordinate, we have written in terms of Cartesian coordinate, in Cartesian coordinate in terms of generalized coordinate. At that time, I have asked you the question also. What is Laplace transformation? Why we have studied the Laplace transformation? In which time is converted to frequency? Or this is simply an example in which Laplace transform we can say it is time can be converted to frequency. So why we are going to study transformation? Because what is our aim to do? If you are going to solve any problem with the help of transformation, that problem may be reduced to some smaller extent. Suppose if we have a complicated PD. So for complicated PD, second order PD, if you आपने तो solve नहीं किया होगा, maybe in the fourth semester you can solve. Second order PD, if you are going to solve, it is completely difficult to solve them. So that's why we are going to use a transformation equation for them. So simply what do you mean by transformations or why we are using the transformation is we have to solve that given example or we have to solve any problem so that that original problem can be reduced to some easier extent. So if you are going to have a problem in a some simplified way, then we can solve it easily. So here we are going to find out the coordinate transformation. That means considering the two system S and S dash moving with the velocity as the okay, what we have to do is simply we have to find out the rotational motion. That means suppose let us assume this is our xyz axis. Now suppose this is what our xyz axis. Now if I am going to have the rotation of say this is what x-axis, y and z-axis. Now, if I am going to perform the rotation of, so let us assume that the new axis that we can found is say the new axis. I can say this is say x dash. This is new one, that is y dash, and this is z dash. So I can say this is what x dash, and this is y dash, and this is z dash. Okay. After rotation through an angle say theta, it means if I am going to have a rotation through an angle theta, the x-axis can be shifted to x dash, y can be shifted to y dash, z can be shifted to z dash. Right. Uh, Assume that you suppose if you are sitting in your home, आपके घर पे कोई तो एक कोना होगा ना, right? So for that corner you have to assume that we have the three coordinate axes. Let me show you. Suppose if you are in the classroom. Yes, you are able to see that corner.
Yes, ma'am.
So in that corner, you have to assume that above one is a z-axis, and whatever the things you have in the plane, that is your x and y axis. Okay. So for that, what we have to do is we have to simply rotate that. Okay. If I am going to rotate that, what will happen? So those x y z axis can be now another position. Okay. You cannot imagine here because you cannot able to see the plane, right? क्योंकि लैपटॉप को अभी थोड़ा झुकाना पड़ेगा, so you can, as you are sitting in your home, you can see one of the corner from your home. In that you can see whatever आप जहाँ पे प्लेन पे बैठे हो वहाँ के जो साइड्स है वहाँ उसको आप एक्स और वाई एक्सिस कंसिडर कर सकते हो, और जो वर्टिकल लाइन है उसको आप जेड एक्सिस कंसिडर करो. So if you are considering XYZ axis, so assume that you are going to displace them. Okay. Now we are not going to have some displacement through Z axis. Okay. Suppose if you are going to displace through a plane. Okay. That means whatever the plane we are having. Suppose I am sitting whatever. हम जहाँ पे बैठे हैं उसको थोड़ा सा डिस्प्लेस करना है, या फिर if we want to have a rotation through a plane, so what will happen? There will be a change in x and y only. That means x is shifted to x dash, y is shifted to y dash, and z will be as it is. Getting me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let me show you. Suppose if suppose here is our z axis at the corner, and in the plane, what you see here in the plane. So this plane we have to shift. Okay, suppose I am going to have a rotation. So this plane can be now shifted, or it can be gone to the outside of classroom, right? It can go to the outside of classroom. So you can imagine this. Actually, these things we have to imagine. We cannot show you here. So आप जहाँ पे बैठे हो उस वो एक प्लेन है ना, say that is xy plane, and x and y coordinate we have to locate. So that xy plane you have to rotate through a z axis. That means fixing a z axis you have to rotate it. Okay. So those x and y will be changed to some new position x dash and y dash. But here in this case what we have done is those x y z is now displaced to some another position, say x dash y dash and z dash. Okay. Now we have to find out the relation. That is, if we are knowing x, y, z, we have to find out the new coordinates. That means new positions x dash, y dash, and z dash. Okay. How to write them is, say x dash, I can write it as L1x plus M1y plus N1z. Y dash is equals to L2x plus M2y plus N2z. Similarly, we can have z dash, that is a new one, as I can write this as L3x plus N3y plus N3z. Okay. What are these LMN? These are nothing but your direction cosines. Li, Mi, so we can say Li, Mi, Ni. These are nothing but your direction cosines, which satisfy the condition. What is the condition for direction cosines? I hope everyone knowing the condition LI plus MI plus NI equal to 1 for I equal to J, and it is equal to 0 for I not equal to J. That is L1 into L1, that is L1 square plus M1 square plus N1 square, it is equal to 1. Or if you remember this formula, L square plus M square plus N square, it is equal to 1. आठवते का डायरेक्शन कोसाइंस? What is the condition? L square plus M square plus N square is 1. And if it is not equal, then Li is L1 L2 plus M1 M2 plus N1 N2 is not equal to 0. Okay, so this I can say this is nothing but delta Aj. Right? Delta Aj is equal to 1 when I equal to j, and it is equal to 0 when I is not equal to j. Right? Here we know what are the positions of x, y, z, and original coordinate system we are knowing, but now we have to find out the new coordinate system after rotation through an angle theta. So after rotation through an angle theta, we have the new positions a x dash, y dash, z dash, which we can find out with the help of x, y, z and the direction cosines. Are you getting this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now one more question for everyone. I don't know I have asked you or not for the homework. Why we are saying direction cosines only? Why we cannot say direction tan, direction cot? Many trigonometric functions we have, but for this one in the maybe for the line and plane we are using LMN as a direction cosine. Why we have used a direction cosine only? We can use direction tan, direction cot, direction sine. विचारला होता का क्वेश्चन है?
No, ma'am.
No.
I think I have asked you. Okay. So what we have to do is we have to find out the direction cosines. So how to find direction cosine? Anyone remember that in the 12th standard we have done this? Suppose this is a position vector R of any particle. So this is your x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. So simply we are going to find out an angle alpha which is made by R. This is say angle beta which is made by the position vector R from y-axis. This is from x-axis. And this is what gamma is an angle made by z-axis with our position vector R. So these alpha, beta, gamma. What are these alpha, beta, gamma? Yes, anyone remember?
Direction cosine.
Direction cosines. So how to find out these x we are going to find out with the help of say cos alpha. How to determine cos alpha? Cos alpha is adjacent side upon hypotenuse. Now what is your hypotenuse? If I am going to complete this triangle, it is x upon r. So I can find x is equal to cos alpha into r. Similarly, we can find y and z. What will be y? Y is nothing but r cos beta, and z is nothing but r sin or cos gamma. So these are nothing but your alpha, beta, gamma are the angles, and cos of alpha, cos of beta, cos gamma, these are direction cosines. Alpha, beta, gamma है direction cosines नहीं है. Cos alpha, cos beta, cos gamma, these are direction cosines. Now what was our question? Why we have used a cosine only, right? So if I want to find out the position of x, that is what is the position of x, if I want to find out, I can find out with the help of this formula. And about y, if I want to find out, I can find out with the help of this formula, right? And It will be having some sequence, no? So alpha, beta, gamma is like this. So with the help of this, I can find out the x, y, z and z coordinate by using direction cosines. So if I use cos of alpha, I can get the x-axis. If I use a cos beta, I can get y-axis and z-axis. Similarly, no doubt we can get a sine beta. If I am going to find out, it is nothing but x upon r. But it is not having a sequence. Now x is equal to r sine beta. Okay, alpha is the first one. So for alpha, we should get x-axis. For beta, we should have y. And for gamma, we should have a z-axis. No doubt with the help of this, I can find out sine gamma is nothing but z upon r. And sine of alpha is y upon r. So it will not be having any sequence. For alpha, we are getting y. For beta, we get x. And for gamma, we get a z. So in this way, with the help of cosine itself, we can find out the x, y, z axis. No doubt with the help of any other also we can find, but actually while defining direction cosines, they are using this one. Okay. Now, let us go for the next one, that is orthogonal transformation. Yes, anyone remember what is orthogonal transformation?
Multiplication of two vectors gives value 0.
Right. So now let us assume that instead of having x dash, y dash, z dash, I will take it as x1, y1, z1. Then the transformation equations, whatever we have written, I can write it as x1 dash is equals to L1 x1 plus L2 x2 plus L1 plus M1 x2 plus N1 x3. And next one, that is x2 dash, I can write in terms of say x1, x2, x3 already fixed out. And here I can write this is L2, N2, N2. X3 dash, that is new coordinate, I can write it as L3 x1 plus M3 x2 plus N3 x3. Okay, this is say our equation 1. It is a transformation from x to x dash. We can say this is what a transformation from x to x dash. Now, uh, in more general form, or instead of using direction cosines, we can use some another terms as x1 dash. I can write it as a11 x1 plus a12 x2 plus a13 x3. Similarly, I can write the next is x2 dash is equals to. Why I am writing like this? So that I can write in the form of a matrix a11 a12 and so on. So a21 x1 plus a22 x2 plus a23 x3. Next is x3 dash is equal to a31 x1 plus a32 x2 plus a33 x3. Now we can write it in the form of a matrix as x1 dash, x2 dash and x3 dash is equals to this. I can write it as a11, a12, a13. This is a21, a22, a23, and this is a31, a32, a33. And here we can have it is x1, x2 and x3. So this I can write it as x dash is equals to a times x. What is a? A is a transformation matrix. What is a transformation? It is a transformation from x to x dash. So if I want to find out x dash, I must know what is x and this transformation matrix. Okay. Now this I can write in the form of whatever the equation I have written this. These three equations, instead of writing these three equations, I can write in the very compact form. What will be the compact form this for this equation? Let me write down here only. So if I put x1, so 1 is fixed out, I fixed होणार आहे, फक्त j रन करायचं. If I fixed I equal to 2, x2 dash, so you have to fixed 2, a2 के बाद क्या आएगा यहाँ पे? If you are going to run the summation over j, a21, a22, a23. Next, if I am going to fix I equal to 3, it is x3 dash is equal to a31, a32, a33. Getting me? Whatever the equation, the equation we have written in a very compact form. Yes? Any doubt?
Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Now, since the actual vector remains unchanged with respect to the coordinate system, that means we can say that this summation over xi dash square, whether it will be equal to summation over xi square, हे दोन्ही इक्वल असणार आहे का? समेशन ओवर xi dash square is equal to summation over xi square. What is this summation over xi dash square? It is nothing but the distance formula, na? What is xi square? I can write it as x1 square plus x2 square plus x3 square. This is nothing but your x square plus y square plus z square. Right, na? We are writing this as under root distance formula. Right? So these are nothing but the distance formula. Suppose this is what your original x is.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah?
होगा मैम इक्वल.
It will be equal, no doubt. So here we have the position vector r originally, and after transformation, say this is x dash, y dash, and z dash. So the same vector, will it have the same distance from the origin in both the coordinate system?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this position vector of a particle we have to find out from the origin. Let us take the example. Suppose everyone knowing about Gadda Yatra of Solapur. गड्ढा देखा है ना सबने?
Yes, ma'am.
हाँ, वहाँ पे क्या है, वो जो बड़ा वाला रहता है झूला, उसमें अगर आप सपोज इफ यू आर एट दिस पोजिशन, सपोज दिस इज what that round, suppose you are at this position and this is the center one. So position of yourself from center, first I am going to calculate, right? So this is what your original xyz system at a rest, right? At rest you may be at some this position, but suppose after displacing or after applying transformation or after rotating, you may be at some different position, right? Okay, that is what a new coordinate system. Initially at rest, we have a original coordinate system. After applying some rotation, we have a new coordinate system. But position of yourself from the origin will be fixed out. After rotation or before rotation, it is always fixed out, right?
Yes, ma'am.
We can have this summation over xi square is exactly equal to summation over xi dash square. Now we have to evaluate this so that we can find out the orthogonal transformations. Okay, xi dash square is equal to summation xi square. We can write it as summation of xi dash into xi dash is equal to summation over I xi square. This summation over I as it is. What is xi dash? We have written from the equation. These three equations we have combined only in one form, which I can write it as summation over j aij xt. Okay, here I have to write it as summation over j aij xt. Simply I have written the value of xi dash from our equation, which is equal to, again we have to write on xi dash and xi dash, it is again, let me use some another value here, summation over k aik xk, which is equal to summation over I xi square. Okay, now this j and k I can take outside. summation over I will take the constant term aij, aik, and outside this I can have this is xj and xk is equal to summation over xi square. These are simply dummy variable. Xi I can write in terms of aij, xj. Or in another way I can write it as aik, xk. What are these ijk? These are nothing but the dummy variables. These are nothing but some parameters we can change. No, both ijk all are varying from 1, 2, and 3. Now I can say that this summation over comparing these coefficients, I can compare the coefficient. You can say here what are the conditions j, k, and I all are running for 1, 2, and 3. Okay, if I run the summation, sometimes j and k both will be equal to 3. So at that time it can have xt square. So comparing the coefficient, I can write summation over I aij aik it is equal to 1, then j equal to k, and it is equal to 0 when j is not equal to k. Okay, why this is so? Because in summation over xi square, what will happen here? Suppose if you have like this, if I run the summation, right? If I'm going to fix x1, so if I run the summation, sometime this term as it is into here we can have x1, x2, right? Because for j and k, it can run for 1, 2, and 3 summation over j and k. It can be 1 into 2, but here there is no x1, x2, x1 and x2. It may be sometime x2, x3. But whether there will be x2, x3 here, इथे काय असणार आहे फक्त x1 square plus x2 square plus x3 square, right? And what will be there here? If I run the summation, so here first it will be x1 square plus some x1, x2 plus x1, x3, correct? Similarly, second term, here as it is x2 square plus, again it will be some term, plus next about x3 square, right? There will be some term x3, x1 plus x3, x2 plus x3 square. So after comparing this, हे समेशन इव्हॅल्युएट केलेला कळालं का तुम्हाला सगळ्यांना?
Yes, ma'am.
Simply I have evaluated the summation. J and k both are 1, x1 square, x1, x2, x1, x3. If I run the summation, next again you get here it is x2, x1, x2, x2, x3. So if you see here the coefficient of x1 square, this will be 1 only if x1 we have, right, for j equal to k. Again for j equal to k it will be 1 because here coefficient is 1. Equating the coefficients. Okay, here is x1 square, we have to equate the coefficient. So these are equal to 1 only if j is equal to k, otherwise it is 0. Okay, x1, x3 इथे आहे पण इथे कुठलाही x1, x3. Equating the coefficient, what we get? Others are 0. Okay, so we can write this as summation over I aij aik is equal to delta jk, which is orthogonality condition, right? And what this orthogonality condition ensures that this is equal to 1 only if j equal to k, otherwise it is 0. Or in another way, I can show this as x11, x12 and x13 is 1, all others are 0. The coefficient, right? J and k both are equal to 1, then a11, a12, a13 and so on. So it will be matrix like 1, 1, 1 here and all others are 0. Okay. So this we can write it as orthogonal transformation from x to x dash. Transformation x to x dash, I can write this as this one, and this satisfy the orthogonality condition. What is orthogonality condition? Summation over I aij t Aij, Aik, it is equal to delta Jk. What is delta Jk? It is equal to 1 when j equal to k. Otherwise, it is equal to 0. That is j not equal to k. Any doubt up to this?
No, ma'am.
Now let us study the properties of orthogonal transformation. What are the properties of orthogonal transformation? The product of two orthogonal transformation is again a linear orthogonal transformation. First is product of two orthogonal transformation is again a linear orthogonal transformation. What is our aim to prove? Prove that the product of two orthogonal transformation is again a linear orthogonal transformation, and hence show that finite rotations of rigid body about a fixed axis are not commutative. Next, finite rotations of a rigid body are not commutative. These two things we have to show. For that, let us consider the two successive orthogonal transformation, right? In this case, we have to consider the two orthogonal transformation, right? First, we will consider transformation from x to x dash, then we will consider transformation from x dash to x double dash. Okay. First, coordinate system say with x, y, z. Second, maybe with say x dash, y dash, z dash. And third coordinate system with will be x double dash, y double dash, and z double dash. Okay. What is our aim to show? The product of two orthogonal transformation is again a linear orthogonal transformation, and after that we have to show finite rotations of the rigid body are not commuting. Okay. For that we have found the two transformation. Product of two orthogonal transformation we have to show it is again orthogonal transformation. We have found the transformation from x to x dash to x double dash. Okay. First we will write down the transformation from x to x dash, that is xj summation over j run from 1 to 3 kb kj, because two transformation is there, so that's why I'm using k and b symbol. Say this is one transformation from x to x dash. What is bkj? This is a matrix now, that is we have obtained. Say this is some matrix b, and this is what? A transformation from x to x dash, and we can say this is matrix of transformation from x to x dash. This must be a bracket. The transformation matrix from x to x dash. Now let us consider one more transformation. We can say this is a transformation from x to x dash. Next we have to consider the transformation from x dash to x double dash, which we can write it as xi double dash is equals to summation over j runs from 1 to 3 aik xk dash. So this is our equation 2, where what is A is nothing but your transformation matrix from x dash to x double dash. Okay. These are two transformations from x to x dash and next x dash to x double dash. But now we have to find out what is orthogonality condition. Okay, in the earlier case, we have found this is orthogonality condition. Aij, Aik is equal to delta Jk. So that we can get this matrix. Now we have two orthogonal transformation. For that, we have to find out two orthogonal conditions. For that, let me write down this is what Bij summation over Bij Bik it is equals to delta Jk. Next orthogonality condition is Aij Aik equal to delta Jk. Right. Now putting equation 1 in 2, right? Here we have a formula for xk dash. Right. This xk dash I have to put here and then we will evaluate. This will open the product of transformation. We have to find out whether product of two orthogonal transformation is or orthogonal transformation. Okay. So substituting equation 1 in 2, we get xi double dash. It is equal to this summation over k runs from 1 to 3 as it is aik. Now simply I have to substitute the value here. Summation over j bkj xj. हे तुम्ही सॉल्व करावाच लागणार आहे कारण की हे सिम्बॉल्स मध्ये कन्फ्युजन आहे बीकेजे एकेजे मेनी टाइम्स whenever I am going to solve I am also confusing. So you must write down at least 4 chapter 2 to 3 times so that we can have a very familiar with the symbols. Summation over j runs from 1 to 3 which we can take outside and this summation over I inside and we can have this is aik bkj xg. But what is this aik bkj? This will be some new matrix of transformation. Now we can see here this is a transformation from x to x double dash. आदि काय होता initially we have a transformation from x to x dash. Then we have a transformation from x dash to x double dash. But now we have found the transformation from x to directly x double dash. Getting me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So xi double dash is equal to summation over j as it is. This I can name it as some another matrix. Say I can write it as Cij. K is common, so I can write the matrix as Cij xj. Say this is our equation 5. 1, 2 we have already used, and these orthogonality condition we will name it as say equation 3 and 4. Now C is a matrix of transformation from x to x double dash, right? C equal to Cij is a matrix of transformation from x to x double dash. Now we have to show that the whatever the equation 5 we have obtained, this equation is again a orthogonal transformation. How to show this equation is orthogonal transformation? We have to satisfy the orthogonality condition. This condition should be satisfied. Equation 3 and 4. हे कशासाठी आहेत? Equation 3 is for orthogonality condition of equation 1. Equation 2 is for orthogonality condition of equation 4. Right? What was our question? Product of two orthogonal transformation should be again an orthogonal transformation. Right? So here we have seen, we have found the transformation from x to x dash. Initially x to x dash to x double dash, and now we have found the transformation from x to directly x double dash. Now we have to show that this product, whatever we have obtained, is whether orthogonal or not. To show that, we have to show, that is to prove that, to prove orthogonality condition, summation over I Cij Cik equal to delta Jk. So let us prove this. To prove this, let us consider this part, summation over j Cij Cik. You can prove in the two part. You can consider LHS and prove RHS, or you can consider delta Jk and then you can prove this. So I feel this one is easier. So for that, let me write down this summation over I as it is Cij. Value of this Cij I can write from this. हे काय होतं CIJ आपण असं सबस्टिट्यूट केलं होतं ना हे दोघांचा प्रोडक्ट काढल्यानंतर. लेट मी राईट डाऊन दिस व्हॅल्यू ऑफ CIJ हिअर. Summation over m and another variable I'm using so that we can have a differences. AIM BM J. A and B product of matrix A and B is C. So CIJ is AIM BM J. CIK as it is. What is CIK now? Again we have to write down what CIK this as it is. For CIK I can write it as some another variable say L summation over L AIL and CIK है ना so BLK. Okay, some new variable L we have to introduce AIL BLK. I and K as it is ठेवायचे. The new variable introduce केलं ते त्याचं summation L घ्यायचं आणि ते 2 वेळा repeat करायचं. Okay. Now take this summation over M, summation over L outside and we'll take the common terms. So here we take summation over I, AIM, AIL, BMJ, BLK. Okay, now let me check what is equation 3 and equation 4. Equation 4 is AIJ, AIK. It is equal to delta JK. AIJ, AIK, delta KJ. Sorry, delta JK. Here also we have summation over I, AIM, AIL. Right. So this I can write it as this equation we can write delta ML. Right. AIM, AIL. In this I can write it as now BMJ as it is BLK. Okay, जे I वर डिपेंड आहे ते आपण ब्रॅकेट मध्ये टाकले ते and M and L are there, so here we have taken summation over M and L outside. Okay, now after that we have to run the summation so that we can get the result. Now I have to run the summation of L. We have to run this one. After running L, somewhere I will get L equal to M. Okay, तर कुठे तर L आहे तिथे M put up करायचं, right? So wherever L is there, you have to put it as M. So we can get delta MM. Here also B MJ BMK. Right? After running the summation, somewhere L equal to M. Because we know that L, M, J, K, I all are running for 1, 2, and 3. Sometimes they may be equal. 2 equal to 2, 3 equal to 3. That is L equal to 2, M equal to 2. So at that time, we have to put L equal to M. So here we have put out delta MM. And we know that delta MM is equal to 1. Where so if it is equal to 1, and here we have substituted this is B MK. So this is 1 summation over M BMJ BMK, and from equation 4 or 3 this Bij Pik equal to delta Jk. From orthogonality condition we can say that this is equal to 1 for I equal to, so or we can say for J equal to K, and it is equal to 0 for J not equal to K. Okay, any doubt? खूप डाऊट असणार आहे, परत एकदा हे सॉल्व करा. पुढच्या लेक्चर मध्ये मला विचारा कुठे डाऊट असेल तर. I have shared you the notes. You have the notes of Thenge ma'am also. You have to solve this properties of orthogonal transformation. At least you should write down once, so that if you have a doubt, you can ask me in the next lecture. Thank you. And you can have the next lecture of Thenge ma'am, I hope. If so, you can attend the next lecture. Thank you.